Welcome back, everybody, to Comic Shop Talk on the Late Night Collectors community. I'm your host, Nico, and joining with me today, as always, is my co-host, Chris. How you doing, man?
Hey, all good. How about you? How are you?
Not bad, not bad. I was just telling Chris before we started the show, I got all this valuable information here. I'm just collating all of our favorites of the week here over the past year, guys. So make sure you're going to tune in for that episode. We're going to be doing some sort of a show, like a best of the year type show, where we're giving out awards for specific categories that will be dropping in December sometime, the week that we take a week off towards the end of the year. So that would be really interesting. So make sure to tune in for that one. And also, all the show notes are now updated and filled in, so you can kind of navigate through each episode. I've kind of been slacking the last little while, I feel like, in terms of the show notes, but it's all updated now, every single episode, so you can actually just help yourself to take a look at that and navigate through easier that way. And kind of, you can tune in, listen to us talk about specific books if there's only things you want to hear us talk about, right? So yeah, definitely go check that out. And the rest of the episodes on the playlist, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If this is your first time checking out the show and you like what you saw here today, please give us a thumbs up and hit the notification bell to be notified of when these shows do drop weekly. And shout out also towards Cracking Packs of the Chat. We actually are about to drop an episode. By the time this is aired, it'll have already gone up the day before. So if you guys are into Pokemon cards, go check out the newest episode of Cracking Packs of the Chat, where Christine joins us and she opens up a booster box of the newest Pokemon card set that just came out. So those are always a lot of fun. Chris was actually just on the show previous to that, where he opened up some hockey cards. So yeah, definitely check out Cracking Packs of the Chat if you're into cards as well. Those are always a lot of fun. Spoiler warning, we are going to be getting into what happened in the books today in some of our conversations. We're going to be showing off some of the art. We try to steer away from some of the, the big spoilers if we can, but, be forewarned. And we're going to be talking about the comics that came out for the week of November 16th, 2022 today. Episode 52 is a year in, guys.
Nope.
Yeah, there you go.
Yay.
Yeah, we just
1 year.
celebrated our 50th episode, and here we are a year in. I guess we started roughly around this time last year doing this show. So there you go. A year full of episodes. All right, Chris. That being said,
All right. That's it. What are we, the week of November 16th?
That's right.
And I'll be gold, but let's talk comics anyways. Cheers.
Cheers. All right, guys. First up on the docket today, we got Deceased, War of the Undead Gods, number 4. A bit of a lighter week this week, too. So it's we also are going to go over some Marvel solicitations at the end of the episode, which literally just came out, fresh off the presses here. So yeah, it'd be interesting to check those out. So, all right, Chris, what did you think of this one?
I thought it was a pretty good issue. It's good to see Alfred sort of in a good spot there. They started out with him kind of shooting taking out Batman and a few of the Robins there. So that was a bit of a tough start to this comic. But it's good to see him there. I guess he's in a different Earth or something. And, you got Damian Wayne and what's his name, Superman, or is that John Kent? But it's always funny seeing Superman try and carry Batman around when they got to fly. They got to figure something out with that. It always looked brutal.
No, this actually happened previously, Chris, in Deceased. He had to kill them.
Yeah, I remember that part there. I guess he's just reliving the nightmare. I heard about. I think they've mentioned that before.
Oh, but they're living on another planet. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, they've all been moved around right now. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Oh, sorry, I thought you meant you thought that happened in an alternate timeline or something.
No, I understand. He's just kind of reliving some of his tragedies or his nightmares there. But well, it was good to see him there. Then some interesting talk on how to stop this anti-life equation when they were with the Oa Guardians. I guess that's who they were.
Yeah, Ganthet, whatever his name is.
That was interesting to see how they play that out. And, of course, they all end up fighting there, and maybe Ares had some influence there. But I thought the ending was pretty good when that new character sort of entered the playing field, and that could be kind of chaotic, I guess. He's always known for just stirring stuff up. I don't know if you want to talk about who it is, but I thought it was great.
I'm going to reveal it because it's kind of funny, because I feel like Tom Taylor, who's the writer of this, as well as another book we'll be talking about here tonight, I guess, was feeling very impish, let's say, I guess he's having a lot of fun with these characters, right? These like
These fifth dimension characters. Like it's the first time I've gone really, and another issue we'll talk about, I guess, that I've had these characters around or seen them. So they're
yeah.
kind of crazy.
Of course, we're talking about Mr. Mixelpick or whatever the hell you say his name from Superman.
Yeah.
He's always a shit disturber, and but like because he's from another dimension, there he can actually just create like he can warp reality essentially. So like the fact that he's actually now like appeared in this book is actually a pretty big deal. Like he can
Yeah.
yeah, right now, like right. So it was a really cool page to end off on. Yeah, absolutely.
And who knows if he's coming to help him though either. He could just be coming to stir shit up.
Very true, because he likes that's fun to him, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, right. But like again, I think it's like when he shows up, it's kind of like a special appearance type thing. Like he's not an overused character by any means, right? Even in the Superman books, I feel like he would show up every so often. His whole thing was he showed up once a year to fuck with Superman, and it was always like a messed up day for him, right? Essentially.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I like that Mr. Mixelpick or whatever, however you say his name. I do dig him, and I did not see that coming. So it was absolutely a really cool ending to the issue, right? And I mean, like they kind of referenced that whole thing with Lobo, and that's like 2 issues ago now. I feel like, or maybe it was last issue.
Yeah, that's one thing I didn't like about this. They're saying, "Oh, Lobo's back in town," and he wasn't even like. I re-looked. He wasn't even in this issue, was he?
Not at all. But that's what I mean. I think they're getting all their pieces together, and it's going to come to some sort of a crazy head, like at the end of this story, I guess, because I think that's pretty interesting that they didn't use him, even though they really just introduced him, right? But they didn't reference
I want to see how he's going to interact with everybody. If he's just going to try and do everything on his own, or he's going to be part of the team, or if he's going to freaking take out people on his own side just because they piss him off.
Yeah, sure. It should be interesting. I'm really looking forward to how this concludes this story. It's getting really, really up in the stakes here. I think I really like too, like even some of the quieter character moments in this. You find out Alfred's with Leslie Tompkins, of course, who was like the doctor on the side of Batman and the whole Bat family and stuff for years in the Bat books, and so that was really cool to see them together, and like him. Jonathan and Damian were kind of like, oh, that's cute. Like, I'm glad they're together. Kind of like, because Damian kind of busts in and he's like, oh, Mr. yeah. He's like, yeah, she's just here to look at my shoulder or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, come on, Alfred. He's like, yeah, don't give me that. He's like, yeah. And Leslie comes out of like the room, she's like in a bathroom or something, and he's like, listen. She's like, yeah, I guess you figured it out. You wouldn't be the world's greatest detective if if you couldn't figure this one out, I guess. So that was cool. I really like those moments too, as well.
I also like how they touched on Alfred's rage or whatever, saying he's almost partly responsible for Batman being the way he is too. That's a new sort of twist that I hadn't seen coming or I haven't heard before, and I thought that was pretty interesting as well.
Yeah, because he's kind of like, I don't want to sit around on the sidelines. Like, I need to help you guys. And like, Alfred, come on, like sit this one out, bud. Like you've done enough.
I don't think Alfred's just there trying to piece everybody together. Like even the main timelines.
Yeah.
But he's there. He's still there out there encouraging Batman to, seek vengeance. Maybe pull him from the brink, pull him back from the brink every once in a while. But he's pretty much just as guilty as Batman would be for doing the things they do.
It was really cool too, seeing what's his name there, Superman knock out the one of the guys, the Green Lantern, the Ganthet or whatever his name is, knocked out there of the Guardians. Like he just knocked the shit out of him in one punch, and they're just like, let's go, all of them.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we can't risk you getting infected, so we're gonna imprison you. And oh no,
because the whole interesting thing that they started in this was that the Lantern Corps basically said, we're like, well, listen, any planet that's been affected because it's spreading, just wipe them out right now, right? And like some sort of genocide type move. And they're like, no, we're not going to do that. And they're like, well, listen, we know what's right for the universe. We're sworn to be the universe. This is above like your pay grade, essentially, in this way. That they're like, no, we know what's best.
Yeah.
I liked that there's some interesting things going on in the storyline right now. I really kind of like the fact that they're at odds now over, like, I get it.
Yeah, how to fix this.
Yeah, they cut it off at the you know what I mean, at the limb right now. They like, don't let this shit spread throughout the universe. Like we got to stop this, right? So
yeah.
I can't disagree. I can't necessarily say that they're wrong in their way of thinking. Like I get it's messed up, but like, like,
yeah, but that's the universe that's at stake. If you gotta save 1,000 planets to kill 12, then those are all tough calls.
Yeah. So So what'd you give this one?
I'll give it a 4. I liked it. I thought it was good. And
Same.
even those characters, what are those? Were those new characters? That world that was that kind of got demolished or whatever. That battle world they were talking about there in the middle for a bit. Is that
Yeah.
something new, or is that something that's been around
No, I
before?
think it's already established.
Okay.
It had some of like the forever people that were there that showed up.
Yeah.
Like a lot of like the Jack Kirby New Gods type shit that you know
Yeah.
out there. Yeah, yeah. But they're not, even though they're the ones kind of out there doing the most damage, we're not really
Yeah. They're not important people.
no, they're not focused on them, it seems like whatsoever. It's more about how this group's dealing with everything, right? So yeah, it's been good, man. It's nice to see. If you had followed it, I definitely think you should go back and check out some of the other Deceased series, Chris. I think you'd enjoy them because like the way that it kind of went from series to series is like it's amped up to this point where now it's like it's spread throughout the universe, because before it was just like more isolated on Earth, and then
Yeah.
like now it's like, and then it kind of was showing you from the villain's perspective and then the hero's perspective, and then they kind of came like all together. And then there was just like, okay, well, we solved it, we've cured this disease, it felt like. And then now it's like, well, no, I guess we weren't able to stop it, even though we've cured, like we know what to do.
Yeah. We stopped it here, but it's all over the universe
Right.
now.
But like to see it kind of get to this point, like I'm surprised the places that this story has gone, quite frankly. I'm it's way better than it had any right to be this DC series, because at first it just sounded like, oh, it's DC zombies, all right, like
Yeah.
like,
Big deal.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No,
This is good. I like this.
much better. So yeah, I also gave it a 4. I agree with you. Good issue. All right, next up we got DC versus Vampires All Out War number 5. Here we go. All right, what'd you think of this, Chris? I also read this one online.
Yeah, I didn't mind this one. Just thought it was a pretty good battle there between Shazam and Mary Marvel. You know, the stuff at the beginning there, I'm not sure really what was going on there. I think they were just talking about Azrael, how he kind of turned on him, and then in the last second he turned good again or something. But overall, you know, I still don't like the tone, not the tone, but just the way this issue presents itself. But the story was pretty good in this one, I felt.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this was probably one of the better issues of this series. It may be my favorite. I feel like every other issue we were like, oh yeah, that was decent, and then we're like, oh, that one sucked, and then they kind of it keeps flipping back and forth. But this was really good. I really like the intro, how you got like the monologue of like the whole like it's all Deathstroke talking about like war times and like things that he's done like on missions and shit like that in the past. So I really liked to hear his perspective on things and now relating it to kind of the situation that they're in now. And like they failed in this. Like they made a choice to throw Buddy and Weather Wizard, the Flash Rogues, into the pit, the Lazarus pit, in order to see if they could bring him back to life. And all they did was bring back the vampire version of him back to life. And like, and he got fucked. He ended up getting bit and everything. And even though Deathstroke, you know, he can't get
I imagine he's immune to this or something.
Yeah, he's immune because I think of his regenerative powers or something like that, right? But anyways, but yeah, cool throwdown moment between Mary Marvel and Shazam, which was pretty crazy at the end there, or Captain Marvel or whatever I think it was, or that showed up, Billy Batson. This is some good stuff in this issue. I did like this one, actually. I thought this is one of the better issues of this miniseries. I'm still not completely sold on this miniseries. I think it's pales in comparison to the main series, but this is one of the better issues. So yeah. So what'd you give this one then, Chris, overall?
I give it a 3.75. Better than I thought it'd be.
Yeah, read my mind. 3.75. Absolutely. Yeah. So
and there's a nice little ending there too with because I guess Mary Marvel, her human form was a vampire, where Billy Bastion or whatever wasn't. Because after, I don't know, like the way that battle worked out, I guess she Shazammed him, and then they both went back to human form, and then I don't know, I guess she attacked him. I don't know what was going on there.
There's a whole last page spread where she's like covered in blood and
yeah, I said, hey guys, you got to kill me now.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess we'll see what that.
I think that plays out.
I think next issue is the last issue, so I guess we'll. And then like Captain Cold, they found him encased in ice, and it looks like it was something he did purposely to, like, I guess.
Yeah, maybe to protect himself or something, or protect the area. So there's a lot of interesting things going on here.
I just hope that with one issue to go and like maybe there's 2 issues over in DC Vampires, 2 or 3, can't recall. That something in the next issue affects the outcome of that other series somehow, because like if not,
or at least brought into it, you know.
That's what I mean. It'll feel completely not necessary this series if they don't do something like that at
Yeah,
all. Because I
for
know they
sure.
focus on two teams, but like they need to kind of bring it together now, I think, somehow, right, in this last issue. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Chris, speaking of last issues, Iron Man 25, last one of this run, I believe, right?
Yep. Iron Man 25, Legacy 650.
Weak
Nice.
cover.
I know. It's the only reason I've been buying this Iron Man. You know, there's some good stories earlier, and you know the stories kind of went to the wayside, but these covers have just been killing it. And for the last issue here, I guess this is like a Happy Iron Man Day sort of scenario where they were trying to celebrate Iron Man in the city. And then as the celebrations are getting underway, he ends up running into some guy that's having a heart attack in the what's that in the trains or the subway systems of where whatever. I imagine they're in New York. And then most of the issue is him just trying to save him, and it doesn't work. He takes him to the hospital, and then he's just kind of waiting around for him in the hospital, and the guy ends up dying, and then they're all like, "Oh, it's so sad. You know, he can't save everybody." And then I guess Hellcat or whatever, she kind of pops in. She takes him back.
What
Yeah,
Sleepwalker in here? That was cool to see him.
he has nothing to do with the story. He's just thinking about where Hellcat's in San Francisco doing whatever she does, and he doesn't quite understand the supernatural. So this has nothing to do with the story. It's just like, oh, this is what she's up to.
Cool to see him though. I haven't seen Sleepwalker, I feel like, in a minute. He's like from the 90s. Remember this fucking guy? I was like, oh, that's cool. Sleepwalker. I was like, what's he doing here?
Yeah. That's just they just wanted to draw him, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, there he's just in the subway trying to save that guy. He didn't save it. So I guess it was trying to be a touching story there to, I guess, show Tony Stark's human side. I don't know what it was. But there was a nice ending where, you know, I guess Patsy Walker shows up so that she's back from San Francisco, takes him back to Avengers Mansion. And then there's a bunch of other heroes there to help Iron Man celebrate his day. So that was nice. Then there's a couple, there's a reprint there. That's the end there. So that was a nice scene. He seems happy about that. And I don't know the second story. I don't even remember what that was about. That was kind of crazy. Oh yeah, he goes to Asgard or something. I don't even know if this takes place in this timeline. I'd have to read this one again, but it was kind of wacky. And then the third story was just a reprint of an old story, and I didn't even bother reading that. I don't know. Maybe I just having a. That was a long comic. Maybe it was the last one I read, and just having a bad time reading. But overall,
is this an actual reprint though, or them just trying to make it look like an older story?
I think it's a reprint that was redrawn or something like that. I'd have to look into it.
Oh, okay, because it looks.
But it is an old story.
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, I really dug this because I thought this was them just trying to like make it look like an old school kind of story, or maybe, like you said, maybe this is an older story they just reworked with a new artist or something.
Yeah,
like that, you know I mean, or something. Yeah, that looked.
Maybe I'll go back to it and read it. It could be an interesting story, but I don't know. I just wasn't in the mood for this.
And this was the teaser for the next series. It looks like right here at the end, I guess.
Yeah, just a one-page teaser. Hey, you know, this was all in the solicits too, so I was expecting more of this stuff. That wasn't there, but we'll see how that goes. But as for a final issue, a 650 legacy issue, I thought it was a bit ho hum. I'd give it a 3.5.
Okay. Overall, though, what did you think of this run? Because I think you read like almost the whole thing, right?
Well, I like that stuff where he was the cosmic god. That was okay. The stuff, the second arc I read through was where he was trying to buy back all the weapons from Source Control. I think that's going to play into the new series a bit more. I wasn't too thrilled about the second one, the second arc I was reading. Some nice stuff there with Hellcat. I think that was just a couple issues.
Yeah.
Overall, I didn't think it was great. But like those covers, though, still kept me buying them. All those Alex Ross covers, can't go wrong with them.
No, there's some nice ones there. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. All right, next up we got I Hate Fairyland #1. Or in my variant, Fuck Fairyland, which these are available. You can order these ones as well. Like they're different types of variants. They did a whole bunch of it for this series. Basically the same one. It just says Fuck Fairyland instead of I Hate Fairyland, which they did the first series as well. So the first series was written and drawn by Scotty Young, who created this series. And I'm a huge fan of his art. Very cartoony style. And he's more more of a writer than an artist these days. He's been writing a lot more projects, and he's been doing Strange Academy that that I've talked about on the show and stuff like that. And they did the first run of this was like 20 issues. And I think this is a book that he did because of the Substack newsletter thing that a lot of these creators went to, and he brought it back essentially. He did 20 issues of the original run, which ended, I guess, years ago now, and that was really good. And I got the 2 hardcovers still on my shelf. I really love that series. And this is him with another artist now who's drawing it. He's just writing it, Brett Bean. And he had he's a very specific cartoony style, and a lot of people love that series because of him being on the art. So I was really worried about this with a different artist, but he picked a good artist, man. I mean, obviously artists have a good eye for other artists and stuff like that. So like, I think the person that he has doing this book is a great fit for this book, honestly, because this is like an ultra violent, while cartoony, like Looney Tune-ish type book the first time around. So like, it's hard to kind of strike that kind of chord in with your art as well without becoming too cartoony or too serious at the same time. But like, I think this artist really has captured the Scotty Young kind of aspect of this book. So it starts off with Gert at the end of the last I Hate Fairyland series. She became she was stuck in Fairyland, and in Fairyland, like when she was younger, she went to this place called Fairyland, like an imaginary world essentially that exists, but then she got stuck there. So she had to basically keep playing out the same like kind of like day, and she also like, it was almost like a Groundhog Day type scenario, but she didn't age. She didn't age there. So she was like a foul mouth, like drunken, like, you know what I mean, like basically like a girl, like a kid still, even though she was like miserable and in her 20s and like smoked and drank and everything else, right? But like there's certain things that were messed up about that world where like it didn't affect her like the same way, and so she was just like, she wanted to kill herself, and she couldn't kill herself there because it was impossible for her to kill herself there. So it was just a funny book. Now she, at the end of that story, she became an adult and she got out of Fairyland. So this, at the start of this, it's opening up. It has all these mice or whatever telling each other like stories about this girl that was in Fairyland. And then they kind of give you an overview about some of the crazy shit that happened in the first book and everything like that while they're telling this tale. And, and she would fucking kill the shit out of people there, but then they would just come back to life in Fairyland and everything else. But it was a very violent book. And she's telling this story, and then it kind of zooms out, and it's basically her just talking to some rats in a dumpster, and she's an adult, and she's working at like, I don't know, like a McDonald's or something. Essentially, it's like called Dragon Dogs. It's like a fantasy based like actual like restaurant, like fast food restaurant that now she's an adult and she's living in the real world. And she's working a dead-end job and she hates her life. Now she's just doing the opposite, but now she's gotten out of Fairyland and having like, a shitty version of her own adult life, right? So yeah, they show her kind of fucking up at her job and how shit she's doing at her job and how customers are irritating, and she dreams of killing them in her head. And then she loses that job, and then you see her kind of work a bunch of other shitty jobs after that. Like she works as like a golf somebody on the golf course or mowing lawns or something, and she mows into the lawn. I'm drunk, and she's like wasted on like the actual the actual seat there. And the guy's like, "You're fired. You're drunk." He's like, "What do you mean I'm drunk?" And then like she wrote like "I'm drunk" in the grass. So yeah, it's a really really funny book. I like it a lot, and the cartooning's great. And then she goes to a bar and she's getting wasted, and she gets the shit beaten out of her because she talks back. She smashes a bottle like she would Fairyland style over some guy's head, and he's just a huge motherfucker. So he just punches her out, and then they throw her out of the bar, and she's basically in the trash, all beat up. And all of a sudden, this rat comes out of nowhere and abducts her and takes her to like this dude who says like she's like tied up to a chair and like basically held hostage in this dude's house. And she's like, "Listen, I don't know what your plans are for me, but you better not be what I'm thinking I'm here for, right?" And he's like, no, nothing like that. He's like, "My niece or whatever has disappeared, and I believe she's stuck in Fairyland or whatever." And she's like, "Oh fuck." Like, yeah. So now basically she's going to be tasked to go back. he said, is like, I'm here to offer you a job. I could tell that you're not really doing a good job in life. Like, so I'm going to offer you this job for lots of money. And I need you to go into fairyland and save my niece or whatever. And she's just get, she, at the end, she's like, ah, shit. Like, she's like, she can't escape this place. Right. Or she says fluff my life instead of fuck my life. Cause in this book in fairyland, you couldn't swear. So now I guess she's used to saying that, because whenever she used to swear in the book, they used to censor it out. That's why there's the fuck fairyland variant, because essentially that's what he wanted to call the book originally, and then he kind of decided against it, right? So he just put I hate fairyland, because he wanted kind of more an all age aspect to this story, right? So yeah, so great first issue. I was really happy with the art, and I'm happy to be reading this book again. I gave this 4.25. I think it was a strong debut issue. Yeah,
Nice.
really good. All right, Immortal X-Men number 8, Chris. Got my issue here.
Yeah, well, I got my issue too. Sorry.
I think this is one that you ended up. Is this something I think you dropped? No.
Well, I don't know. They threw it in there still. So what are you gonna do?
Okay.
I didn't mind. Well, I don't mind this Immortal X-Men, but I'm gonna try and drop it. I don't think I put it in my January pull list, but we'll see how it goes. And what happened here? We got Mystique, Destiny, and Mr. Sinister, and a Sherlock Holmes style timeline. Most of it.
Yeah.
Where we got? Yeah, wasn't a bad story, but I don't really care about these characters in that timeline.
Same. Like, I'm sure it's gonna have implications in what's going on currently in the story, but I don't care either. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, like even if it has this one page where you come in, you see Mystique's standing in front of all the the vats of clones. Okay, big, that's nice. But I don't gotta waste a whole issue reading about a Sherlock Holmes Mystique, trying to hunt down whatever Mr. Sinister and Sherlock Holmes times. That was just a waste.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of this issue.
Yeah, no, same. I don't think this was the strongest issue either. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with the art. I feel the art was good. But didn't really add too much to the point where I really enjoyed the story anymore than I did. I'm with you. I think you just hit on it. I don't really have any interest in this. It wasn't that it was necessarily bad, but yeah, as a result, I just didn't care for this issue that much. Yeah,
like the Immortal X-Men issues I've liked more. I just seem to be based with more characters I care about, unless there's some big story here that's going on. But
yeah, there's been some good issues of this.
Yeah.
There's been a couple that just didn't hit with me either. And I think come January, I think it's switching over to that Immortal X-Men anyways, because once the Sinister thing happens. So this series is going to be not coming out during that period of time, I think, either. Or so, yeah. I guess we'll see where that goes, because that's going to be basically a continuation of this, but now in this the warp Sinister kind of whatever he's going to be doing it to.
Who knows?
Essentially, right? So yeah. Anyways, so what'd you give this one?
Yeah, 3.25. Nothing special.
Same. Yep. Yeah. Next up, we got Batman, Superman, World's Finest, number 9. That one here. And what'd you think of this?
Speaking about other characters I don't care about. I don't care about Boy Thunder.
Yeah.
Like, it's a nice story. The art's good. The color's good. You got great characters in here. But I don't really care. Boy Thunder's struggling with his powers or trying to rein himself in. Who cares? Let's get this arc over.
I mean, I think I liked the intro of this storyline a little bit more than you did previously. You've always kind of felt that way about this. But then with this issue, I was just like, yeah, I'm kind of over it now, too, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's funny because, like, I think, like you said, everything else is working for the book except, like, their choice of this story, like, for the book. Like, yeah, great. You got the Joker here now. You got Batman. You got Superman. Like, it's just like they're choosing to. They have Robin in this. Like, you got.
Yeah, like if you pull Eddie Page and you put that in a solicitation. Oh wow, what's going on here? It looks like some big stuff happening, but nothing's happening. This kid's whatever. Boy Thunder. What kind of even name is Boy Thunder?
The whole thing is that which is what we had suspected. I think you've already showed their hand in the twist that this story would have become that we predicted with the first appearance of him when they started this story, is the fact that he's the one that basically fucked over his family or his planet or everything else. Like, he's a hothead, like, and he doesn't know how to control powers, and he's a dick, like he's a dick teenager or whatever the hell. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's what we're seeing here. They're trying to Superman's just like, oh, I want to have a sidekick too. And like, meanwhile, like, am I wasting your time with this fucking guy? Like, right?
Yeah.
I think all that's going to happen out of this is he's going to become a villain by the end of this. That's what's going to happen. He's going to become a villain.
He's gonna be a villain. I imagine he's gonna die because this is supposed to take place in the past. You've never heard of this boy Thunder anywhere.
That's true. Yeah, because I just don't see why they're wasting their time with this guy, to be honest with you. Like, there's a funny moment where with the Titans though, where not Green Arrow or whatever
whatever. I know some the Red Arrow guy or something.
Yeah. he kind of was like, oh yeah, because he ends up burning someone's hand while they're fighting him. They're like, wow, did you really have to do that? Like, use that kind of force on him? And he's like, well, yeah, because like, I'm not gonna we're on a boat full of explosives or something. I don't know, like he had some sort of reasoning for like the choice he made, and the other heroes were like, yeah, don't encourage this, and he was just like, oh yeah, whatever. He's like, these other guys, they don't want to get their hands dirty or whatever. Like, that was a kind of a funny moment. But then Superman was like not in front of the rest of the team. He like scooped him up. He's like, don't give him a hard time in front of his friends. He's like, I'm like, come on, man, stop protecting this guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like the Boy Scout, right? Like, I was like, come on, this kid doesn't deserve your sympathy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're really trying, and it's like this kid is just a bum. No, I agree with you. I'm hating on Boy Thunder as well. I'm not a fan. So, what'd you give this one, Chris?
I'll give it a 3.5.
Same. Yeah, I'll give it a 3.
Everything else is working here, just the story. Oh, good.
Yeah, we're on the same wavelength tonight. All right, Chris. Next up, She-Hulk number 8.
Fuck, another winner. We've got a great cover again, though.
Yeah.
She-Hulk 8. Yeah, I got the same cover there. Look at the perfect Hulk. So I guess that had something to do with the story. This is basically an origin issue of some villains that were introduced a little while ago.
Yeah.
It's these two scientists. Did you read this or no?
I did it. I read the last issue, though, that kind of these people showed up at the end of it and kind of imprisoned her, like in their
house. So two scientists, like basically goes over their history. They're two scientists that met. They're both super smart, and and they both wanted power. So, they put their heads together and they thought that She-Hulk would be the easiest or the gamma radiation would be the easiest way to attain some sort of power. And they tried to Hulk themselves out. And it seemed to work there, for one page. And then after that, things went sideways. I think she kind of got super smart, or she got a bit smarter. And then the guy, he sort of became dumb and just started liking nursery rhymes. It's not a bad story. This story belongs in the freaking Crip Show, or like one of those anthology series where people try and, look for power, and it just ends up, biting them in the ass. And that's how things go. But I think it might have been too soon for an origin story for these characters, because I don't really care for them as villains yet. I'd rather have seen what happened at the end of She-Hulk, whatever, 7, or which one is this here? Because in the last one she got trapped and knocked out, and then you want to see what happens from there, and then they throw this origin issue at you. So it just seems like a bit of a stalling tactic. So it wasn't my favorite once again. Nice art though inside though, but I'll give this 3.25 too. I wasn't happy with this one either.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's fair. I hear you. You were enjoying the story that they were telling, as was I. But this is kind of like, again,
yeah, because all the issues have been decent, and then they freaking throw this freaking tomato.
All right. Next up, we got Batman One Bad Day, Mr. Freeze number 1, which I've ordered the issue, but I don't have. I forgot it to pick. Oh, here, right? I forgot to pick it up while I was at the shop, so I'll have to scoop it. Yeah, I haven't been reading all of these. I've been kind of cherry picking the ones I was interested in. This is by Jerry Duggan and artist Matteo Scalera. Colors by Dave Stewart. Great team on the book. And I was very much looking forward to this because Matteo Scalera is an artist who I absolutely love. I think he's one of the best guys working in comics. He used to do a series with Rick Remender called Black Science. And from there, he did a miniseries in Black Knight Presents. Sorry, not Black Knight. what do you call it? The White Knight. It's like he did a White Knight Harley Quinn miniseries with Sean Murphy a little while ago, like with his wife who wrote it, and he drew it. And again, great work. So yeah, I was really looking forward to this, and he absolutely delivered, man. This issue looked great. Yeah, and this is like, I wouldn't say this is absolutely new ground for Mr. Freeze story, but I mean, every time like people do Mr. Freeze's origin right, or like even stories about him and his relationship between him and his wife, and the reason why he wanted to save his wife, and the fact that she was, frozen and everything else, and is he really a bad guy, and this and that. When that's really done well, like, I really like those stories with Mr. Freeze. I think he can be a really interesting character depending on what angle you take with him. And this is basically the angle that they took in this one is, and it's a nice time of year for this. The weather's kind of getting crappier outside lately too, and this kind of takes place around Christmas, this issue, and there's some references to Christmas, and like, they're out fighting crime, him and Robin, and Robin kind of says to Bruce, like, like, don't you believe that we can actually help these villains to change, to turn over a new leaf, to actually become a better person? Like, and at first he's like, no, we can't, like, these a lot of these animals, like, you can't reform a lot of these guys. And then he's like, well, what's the point then? Like, what's the point of places like Arkham? What's the point of what we do? Right. So he tries to give like Bruce like another perspective and some hope in that sense, to actually think that, especially, I guess, I don't know if it's just because it was around the holidays, or just like, it was just something that came up for them, and in this issue. But yeah, it was interesting, that whole thing. And then like they run into Mr. Freeze, and he kind of expresses this to him, and they try to give him a second chance, and they take him to like a lab, and they're trying to like help him out like with his research to get to cure his wife, essentially, and everything else. And they give him all this shit at his disposal. And then by the end of it, he gets frustrated, and he fails like again, and it isn't working. And like he ends up like in a fit of rage, like destroying the whole lab, and basically just, you know what I mean? Like going off and, doing his thing like usual. Right. And again, and it kind of proved what they were trying to do wrong in a sense. But at the end of the day, like you see through flashbacks and the way that the story is told, that his wife never really wanted this for herself. Like he did it for selfish reasons. He did it because he was researching this stuff, the cryogenics shit and everything else. Like he did it for himself at the end of the day. And there was a lot of problems apparently with him and his wife's marriage, which really weren't things that he talks about necessarily, that bubbled to the surface in the course of this issue. So I just thought it was really well done. I love a good Mr. Freeze story. I absolutely love the art, love the Christmas aspect of this, love this issue. I think this is a great fucking issue. Good one shot, and definitely something worth checking out, guys. If you missed this one, like me, if you're somebody that is only picking up some of these Batman one days, definitely check this out, man. I can't wait to get the physical issue of this, because I just want to glance through it. As much as I love reading things digitally, it's sometimes not the same as just reading the physical copy of the book, right? So yeah, I'm gonna probably reread this one once I get my hands on it. So yeah, I gave this a 4.5. I think it was a very strong issue, and well timed, and great art, and yeah, great stuff. So all right, next up, and it's definitely a highlight in this so week that we've had so far. Some of the books we've been talking about, as you can tell. Catwoman 49, Chris.
Okay, so I read this one online as well. My DC Comics didn't come in this week. So we got Selena Kyle. She does a lot in this issue here. She returns to Alleytown to save one of her mob friends. She hooks up with one of the mafioso head leaders that's kind of been replacing her as Selena when Selena wasn't in Alleytown as Catwoman. She kind of tangles with the Royal Flush Gang here a little bit. She has a bit of spicy time with Valmont in there, or whatever his name is. That's always good for her. And then she has a little quick chat with Batman. So it's kind of just checking off some boxes here. I guess maybe they're doing some sort of a kind of house cleaning in here, getting stuff ready for the big story, or the big story's coming up. I guess it's 49, so hopefully 50 is going to be a banger.
Yeah, it's like 50 issues already of this solo Catwoman series. That's great. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, it's not a bad issue, and I don't know if I'm on the fence about continuing this. I don't think I ordered 51, but I'm definitely going to get 50 and see what's going on here. But the worst thing about this, the cover was teasing, a Batman or a Catwoman versus Punchline. Punchline wasn't even in this issue.
I was gonna ask you. Yeah, I don't think I saw her in the art. I was like, does she just look different in this issue? Yeah, she wasn't even in this.
She wasn't even like because I think when what's her name, Selena gets back to Gotham or Alleytown, there's a lot of Royal Flush Gang sort of graffiti everywhere, and I don't know how long. It seems like she's been gone for like 20 years. The when she gets back there, but like she was only gone for a couple months. But I guess Alleytown has been taken over by the Royal Flush Gang. So, and I am reading the Punchline, so it's nice to have that sort of tie-in together. And look, I'd give this a 3.5. Like I said, nothing big going on, but just kind of lining up all the ducks there, I guess.
Yeah, nice. Next up, we got Bone Orchard, 10,000 Black Feathers, number 3, written by Jeff Lemire from Image Comics. This is 3 of 5 miniseries that he's coming out with in the Bone Orchard mythos kind of storylines that he's doing. He originally came out with an original graphic novel, and now he's doing a miniseries, and I think it's going to be like another original graphic novel. I don't know if I'm going to pursue these stories anymore in issues, quite frankly. I don't actually even have the preview art ready for this. I was able to get a hold of it. So, but I got to tell you, like lately, like as big of a fan as I am of his writing, between this and Little Monsters, a couple of his books now I felt like dropping lately because they're just moving at like a snail's pace. Now, I always felt like he wrote for the issue. Like he's a writer that always kind of gave you your money's worth when you picked up an issue and you really got something out of it. But a lot of this stuff he's been putting out lately, and I don't know if he feels like now he has like a good enough following behind him, or if his time just got all wrapped up in the filming of the shows that he's been helping produce. One of them for CBC that he's doing for Essex County, and then with the Sweet Tooth stuff for Netflix. I'm not sure, because this guy like is a workhorse. He like draws a book all the time that he's putting out on the side. Like he writes like a million books. He's exclusive with Image now. So like, I don't think it's that he's slowed down in his work at all, but I feel like for whatever reason, whatever's been coming out lately, I think has been reading better with the trade. It's like this story is fine. I had nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with this issue. But it's just like a little more so like in a larger like scale of a story that like, there was some events that happened to this girl in this. We're still finding out about this girl's past, why she came back to this mysterious town. Something happened to her friend. Because she's referencing her in the present day in this, but although it's mostly done in flashback so far, but she's like not around at the moment in time. There's, some sort of thing with the reason of the 10,000 black feathers. There's like some sort of feather thing, like symbolism and stuff going on, like something dark or whatever came and seems like for her friend, or like some sort of evil or something, and something happened to her. But again, we're kind of like, you're probably not going to find out what happened until the end of this 5-issue miniseries. So it's kind of like, while it's well done and it's good and I'm enjoying it and everything, it's just like, I feel like it would read better in just one big chunk. So I don't know if I'm going to continue reading this in issues, these miniseries, because it seems like he's going off and doing different miniseries, all like, I don't know if it's like connective story or if it's like separate tales in the same universe, because this whole Bone Orchard thing has been like these horror book stuff that he's been doing lately, and this is the second installment of it, and it's kind of like, it's whatever, like it's fine, but I'm not getting excited for it. So with us trying to make the effort to drop more things lately, this is definitely probably going to be one of those for me, and I'll just pick it up and trade. It's one of those things, like I feel like he's just a blind buy for me at this point, because I've loved so many things he's written that I just buy this, and like I feel like wrong about dropping it, but like if I'm being honest with myself, it's going to read better in a trade, I feel like. So yeah, I think I'm done with this one. So that's 10,000 Black Feathers, Bone Orchard. I think I've probably pre-ordered the rest of this mini series already. Like there's only 2 more issues, so I think I've already pre-ordered it, but past this, I think I'm not going to pick up any more in issues. So I give this a 3.5. Again, there was nothing bad about it. It was just like, I need more in a single issue. Yeah.
Enough with the slow burn, freaking light things up once in a while.
I don't mind an issue here and there that's like that, right? Like we all get into the middle of these story arcs, even in the superhero stuff, where it's just like you said, like that She-Hulk issue where they're going to tell a side story about the origin of some villain. Okay. But like, next issue, they better get back to it, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like fine. Like I can excuse it. Like if it's 5-6 consecutive issue and it's a mini series that is going to read better altogether, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily need to stick around for that, right? So, anyways. And then finally, here we got Shaolin Cowboy, Cruel to Be Kin. This is also this is the last issue of this series. I got the Art Adams cover. Yeah, I got some art for this one actually. So this is a fun series, but I got nothing new to say about it. Great art, as I've said about every issue, really great detailed art, and crazy shit happens in this book. By the end of this, you got a giant pig. You got him fighting like weird kaiju creatures that are like crab men. There's a scene where he cuts open the crab man's like, or whatever the hell he is, some sort of weird creature. He cuts open his stomach and he rips out his intestine and he starts flinging down. Like he basically starts unraveling the intestine, and then he like unravels it and attaches it to a car, and the car goes speeding away and starts. So you see like the intestine start raveling out of his stomach, and then he like rides the intestine like he like starts running across it, like comes back and like kung fu kicks him, and like it's awesome, man. It's just a fun book. It's just ridiculous. And this guy's like some evil like right wing like Trumper guy or something, and it's like he's saying all these racist things to him about him being Asian throughout the issue. So it's a funny book, man. You see the guy kick some ass every issue, and with great art to accompany it. It doesn't ever takes itself seriously, and it was a fun book. So I really enjoyed this one, and this is probably one of my favorite installments in this Shaolin Cowboy that Jeff Darrow has done, because he's done a few of these miniseries with this character. So yeah, I gave it a 3.75. I thought the story in this one was all right. 5 all day for the art on this book, but I think as a conclusion to the story, it wasn't anything, too over the top or crazy, but I thought it was a funny story. So yeah, 3.75. All right, Chris. Now we're going to be talking about for our last book here, your favorite title, starring your favorite character, Nightwing. Gotta get some Dick Grayson, Nightwing 98, guys. Which I was really scratching my head at this cover, but now I understand. Now I understand why it's like this. So go ahead, Chris.
Finally, a lousy issue of Nightwing. I loved it. I can hate on this issue all day.
Yeah.
Wow, what a letdown, though.
Yeah.
With that ending from the last one where, Rick Grayson shows up, you're like, what the heck is going on? And then this issue happens. I don't know what the hell they were thinking on this one. Maybe I think they're saving something for issue 100, or I don't know what, but I don't. That's all I can say. I'm glad I hated it, and
yeah,
prove me right. Nightwing sucks. No, I'd rather have a good issue, but it wasn't a bad issue. It was a fun issue, but the tone is just like way out of left field compared to everything that's been going on.
Yes. Absolutely. And even for me with that tonal shift, I didn't absolutely love this issue like I have most of the other issues of this series, because even you are quick to admit, even despite you not loving the character, you like the series has been good and you've been enjoying it. But I think this was kind of way out of left field. Batmite is a character that's also one of those kind of imps, like a Mr. Mixel pick that's already existed in the comics previously. I don't know if there's ever been a Nightmite. I think this might be something new though. But yeah, so he had a little bit of fun with him in this, but his whole thing was not really just to torment him, but just to say how much of a fan he is of him. Like he was just like, you're awesome. Like, and it felt very kiddish, and the artist was different on this to make it look like that, to fit the tone of the book, which I understand it worked well in that sense. But it was too cutesy for me. I was just like, okay, that's enough of this by the end of the issue. I was like, again, it wasn't bad, but I was just like, I don't need to read any more of this storyline. I'm really looking forward to issue 100 and what they're gonna do there. But then they get the dog in a cape. Yeah, okay, we get
the dog talking, or
yeah, he's bite, right? His dog. Or whatever the hell they called him. Yeah, so it was fine. What'd you give it?
I'll give it a 3.25. I like the cover. I was interested until I got the issue.
Yeah, I'll give it 3.25. I was wondering why they had him looking very kiddish on the cover, but then it made
Yeah,
so much.
I thought that was just some homage, like some Scotty Young sort of type of cover, but I
But
didn't see this Night Mite or whatever they call him here.
but as I was saying, that's why I felt like Tom Taylor really went to town with these
Yeah,
characters this month, right? This week
I
really is.
guess maybe he wrote that up for Deceased. Hey, why don't I just throw that in Nightwing? And who knows? Maybe he's going to show up in Dark Knights of Steel too.
Yeah,
They've
maybe.
got Tom King there. I don't know.
No, it's Tom Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're gonna show him back in those times. What kind of?
So when it rains, it pours. You don't see these little fifth dimension characters. Now they're going to be all over the place.
Yeah, that's right.
Just screwing up every good story that's going on out there.
All right, guys. So that's gonna do it for the new books that came out this week that we had read. Let's quickly go over the Marvel February 2023 solicits, though, that just came out prior to the recording. Once again, shout out to comicreleases.com. That's where I got the solicits here today that I'll be showing off, and they do a good job of really putting all this together. And then by the next week, we'll probably have DC's and everybody else's come in. So then we'll be able to review those then. So let's take a look here. I'll just bring it up on the screen.
So I might be kind of categorizing these in two ways: ones that I'll be reading and ones I'll definitely be buying.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. Yeah, so like, you know, in an whoa, mute that mic. In an effort to, as we have said, guys, we're really trying to, like, cut back on a lot of the physical issues that we pick up around here. Yeah, as Chris had mentioned, I might be doing the same in that sense by going through these solicits. So yeah, we'll talk about all the books we'll be most likely reading, but yeah, we'll specify which ones we feel are important enough or that we like enough to actually be purchasing, right? The physical copy of, right? The rest will be reading digitally. So yeah, this will be interesting. This will be the true test here, Chris, because Chris hasn't seen these ones yet because they just came out. So this should be interesting. What's going to come out here? You're gonna really find out what's worth it to us to pick up here. All right. I'll just bring this up.
Actually, I just put in my January pull list, and I cut a few, but it's still a pretty decent list.
All right, here we go. Yeah, I did pretty good on my most recent one, to be honest with you. I think I'm under 30. It's like 27, 28, I think, for that month, which isn't bad for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Let's go past all the collected edition stuff here. All right, here we go. Immoral X-Men number 1 of 3.
What a 3.
I'll be buying this.
Fuck, maybe. Definitely reading, maybe buying. See what this. Well, yeah, I'll buy that cover.
You want the Planet of the Apes variant or what?
With the Planet of the Apes variant going on. I love Planet of the Apes.
So this is going to be, I think you're going to see a lot of those variants this month because Marvel in 2023 is getting the rights to Planet of the Apes, and they're going to be doing comics. So in popular fashion of when they get the rights to something, Conan, Alien,
yeah,
they're going to have covers featuring the apes with a lot of the Marvel characters this month. So yeah, look forward to that.
I'll be buying those covers, but
there's some cool ones though. Yeah, for sure. Pass for me on this one. This is Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants 1 of 3.
No,
this is going to be the continuation of X-Men Red, essentially. So basically, 3 spin-off titles here, guys, are going to be once Sins of Sinister starts. These titles are going to be transformed into these miniseries for the next couple of months, kind of like in an Age of Apocalypse type style, essentially. Like these are possible different alternate timelines, I think, that of Sinisters, essentially. Like I think that he's going to create somehow in that Sins of Sinister. I think that's kind of the what's going to happen. So yeah, the first one, this is Immortal X-Men, is going to become Immoral X-Men, same writer, same art team, I think, as well. And then you got Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants 1 of 3, which is, again, I think it's the same team from X-Men Red. That's what that's going to turn into, which I've dropped already, and so I'm not going to be picking that up. And then I think Legion of X is going to become Nightcrawlers 1 of 3 because that's he's in Legion of X, and this, again, same team, I believe. So I'll be skipping this one as well, Chris.
Yeah, maybe read it, but
if I like the other one a lot, I might read these digitally, these other ones, but I'm not going to be picking them up. Yeah, but anyways, they got Red Goblin number 1. Pass for me.
Yeah, pass.
Venom, Chris.
I don't know. I'm still part of Dark Web. I'm buying it.
Let's look at the Apes variant. Oh,
Oh,
what's going on there?
no, is that Caesar?
Yeah. Then you got Dark Web Finale #1. Yes, buying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down for Dark Web.
Take a look at the covers here. Oh, that's a nice one. Nice.
Yep.
Bloodline Daughter of Blade. No.
Nope.
Avengers End Times Marvel Tales #1. No.
Nope.
I think it's a reprint. Betsy Braddock, Captain Britain #1, which I guess Excalibur now is becoming. Like, I guess it's spinning off into this because she's the new Captain Britain. No, I'm gonna pass on this.
I like her as a character, but I don't know. I didn't like that Merlin world or wherever she is. I don't like that
I
stuff.
tried reading Excalibur. I like it as a concept, but yeah, no, I can't get into it. So
They got to get back in the real world.
looks like Bishop's having his own miniseries. What's going on here? War College. What the hell? What is this?
I don't know. This is a new bishop, though, right? This isn't the same bishop from back in the day.
It looks like a different Bishop. Yeah. That's a dumb cover. What's going on there?
Yeah, I'm out. I don't like what they did with Bishop. He's not what he used to be, that's for sure.
I'm out on this one as well. Demon Wars Down in Flames. No. Silver Surfer Ghostlight #1 of 5. I love Silver Surfer, but I don't.
I think I heard some stuff about this, but
apparently it's supposed to be some new character or something.
Yeah,
in this
I
one.
think it's gonna be all hype. That's gonna be freaking nothing.
I might check this out online, depending on what I hear about it. But initially, I'm not gonna pick this up. But that's a cool cover. Galactus in the background there with the apes. That's pretty awesome, actually.
That's not bad.
But yeah, no, I'm not gonna be picking that up. Avengers #8, Fast and Wild Edition. No.
No.
Avengers War Across Time #2. No.
Nope.
Avengers 65. I'm reading this online.
Is this a new arc or is this still part of the
Avengers Assemble? This is Avengers Assemble still.
Okay, yeah. So I'm still down for that.
Yeah, I'm still reading that as well.
Reading, yeah.
Along with Avengers Forever, which is continuing. It looks
Holy smokes. Not this was supposed to be like 12 issues, but yeah. I'm gonna stick with this until the end of the whatever arc going on.
This is the end. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah.
There's Howard.
Jason Aaron writing it or something?
It's Jason Aaron. Yeah, it's Howard on the back of the bike with the or the horse, sorry. The apes.
Yeah.
Monica Rambeau. No. Scarlet Witch.
No.
Nice covers though.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not picking this up. Again, I like the character. I don't like the team that's on, at least the writer. Fantastic Four. I might be reading. I dropped this in issues, but I might read this online. Depending.
Yeah, I might read it online too, but I'm not buying it.
No, me neither. I dropped the issues. Yeah.
Good cover though.
Yeah. Joe Fixit too. No. Invincible Iron Man 3. Also dropped it, but also might be reading it online.
Yeah, I'll probably read it just because I'm into it, but I'm not buying them.
No, me neither. So there you go. That's our stipulation, guys. We're going to be reading it digitally. Doctor Strange, Fall Sunrise 404. Yes, I'm buying this.
I'm out.
Yeah, you're out on that. Wasp #2. No.
Out.
Deadpool #4, Chris.
Maybe read it, but I'm not buying these either.
Nice restraint. Amazing Spider-Man 19 and 20.
Yeah.
Yes, buying.
There's the one I was talking about, the ninjas there, a pile of ninjas.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, so you got a team coming on this book for these 2 issues, 19 and 20. You got a new writer on these issues, but it does say just coming on for these 2 issues. It's a good team too. Joe Kelly and Terry Dodson, who I showed off a sketch from before, that does a great Black Cat. So the fact that he's on art, I'm really excited for that.
Right.
So really good, great, sexy Black Cat he does. So yeah, looking forward to this. And Ninjas, sign me up. Yeah, I'm in.
Yep.
Mary Jane and Black Cat #3, buying it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw some like collector variant cover for I don't know 1 or 2. Oh, it was hot, but it was like some whatever.
Oh, I just sent you today. I don't know if you saw your Instagram.
Oh yeah, I put that on my pull list there. That's the Sins of Sinister one, but I like the A cover is great, but
so do I.
I gotta go with Art Germ.
Yeah, so yeah. Anybody's interested in that, guys, check out. He just released the image of it, the Art Germ variant cover for Sins of Sinister #1. I don't even care if it has nothing to do with Emma Frost. I'm getting it I'm getting
That
that cover.
cover is just sick.
Yeah, absolutely. Sick. Emma Frost cover by Archer. Miles Morales, Spider-Man 3. No.
No.
Gold Goblin 4. No.
I read Gold Goblin 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was just there, kind of put a good read to it, but I don't care about Norman Osborn.
Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 5. No.
No.
Spider-Man number 5. What are you doing here on this one?
I'm gonna stick with it, I think.
Yeah. After that last issue, it gave me a little hope. We'll see. I might be getting it by the next solicits, but we'll see. Right now, I'm gonna still be buying it though. Yeah. Spider-Man: The Lost Hunt number 4. No.
I'll definitely read it.
Oh, you might just be reading it online, the Spider-Man.
Yeah. I think I bought number 2 just for the cover.
Okay.
I think I read number 1.
Yeah. I might.
Oh yeah, I read number 1. I think like Mary Jane's pregnant in there or something. Not a very fun story.
I might keep buying it. We'll see. Peter Parker and Miles Morales, Spider-Man Double Trouble. No. Miracle Man. I'll be reading this online. I'm going to continue with this one for now.
Okay. I'll see what you got to say about it, but.
Did you end up reading the other issue, number 1? No. Okay. Amazing Spider-Man 129, a reprint. No. First Punisher. Punisher War Journal base number 1. No. Well, I'm going to read this online. I'm not going to pick this one up. I like the first one, didn't like the second one shot. I'm going to read this online, though, this one. Murder World, Moon Knight number 1. That's interesting. No, I'm not going to bother, though.
No.
X-Men 19, still buying this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll buy that's a cool cover. Buy the main title. Captain Marvel 46.
Maybe read it, but not buying it for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing sick about the. I don't know, these Planet of the Apes covers just don't really fit in.
No. Extreme X-Men number 4. No.
No.
X-Men Legends 6. No.
No.
Wolverine 30. No. But
I've heard there's something
going on in that book right now. I'm hearing that there's some interesting things.
Yeah, there's him and Beast. They're thrown down.
He's just apparently a fucking bad guy almost in this.
Yeah.
Essentially, like he's killing him and stuff like that, and he doesn't even know. It's weird. I don't know what the hell's going on there. It's like Age of Apocalypse Beast or something, I guess.
Yeah.
Sabretooth and the Exiles number 4. No. X-Force 37. No. Marvel's Voices Wakanda Forever number 1. No. I just saw actually World of Wakanda though, or sorry, Wakanda Forever. It was good.
Yeah, nice.
Wakanda number 5. No. Namor Conquered Shores 5. No. Black Panther 14. No. Not a lot this month for us. Captain America Sentinel of Liberty number 9. No. Symbol of Truth Captain America. No.
Oh.
Legion of X. No. Marauders, no. Don't even have art for these ones, it looks like. These are really early solicits. All Out Avengers, no. Planet Hulk, no. Secret Invasion, no. Tiger Division, a lot of no's here, no. Carnage, no. She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Issues, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably still buy it. As long as those covers keep on hitting.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're not up yet, but I'm sure it'll be nice covers. Ghost Rider 11, no. Savage Avengers 10, no. How about you?
Yeah, I might be dropping them too. Okay. Keep on reading them, but not buying them.
Moon Knight, no, but I read it in trade. So, Thor 31, yes. I'll be continuing to buy this in hopes that Donny Cates comes back. And
I'm on the fence here.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a cover. If it's a good cover, I'll buy it. But
oh wow,
if not, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see what the next story arc is.
Well, this is the start of a new arc. This issue, it says here. So
yeah, maybe.
Hulk number 12. Yes, Titan is coming. Uh-oh.
Okay, I'm on. See what's going on there. Because that Planet Hulk or the Hulk planet, that's kind of lame.
It is. Strange Academy Finals number 5. Yes, I'll continue buying this one.
I'm not.
I'm buying those. Daredevil 8. Yes, I'll buy that.
Yeah.
Moon Girl, no. And I think we're at the point where it's all Alien and Star Wars here, so I think we can skip over this.
All right. Sounds good.
That's it. A pretty light month, honestly. Only a handful.
Yeah, I thought they would be hitting a bit harder, but I guess it's still laying low.
We're reaching.
I don't mind.
we're reaching that point, I think, where there's it makes room for a whole slew of new interesting books, hopefully, right? I mean, I'm here for it if they start putting out some better stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is not me also forcing myself to cut a lot of stuff off. I think it's just a good opportunity because a lot of books haven't been hitting the mark for me as well, right? Like, and
Yep, sounds good. Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons when
right,
kind of picking up a lot of lame books. Not
yeah,
like they're cheap anymore either.
no, that's for sure. Okay, so let's see here. What are you picking up next week, Chris? You got your list
Next
there?
week, yep, I got Avengers Forever 11, Daredevil 5, Spider-Man 14, X-Men 17, Action Comics 1049, DC Vampires 11, Deathstroke 15, Harley Quinn 24, and Punchline 2.
Nice.
I
Okay.
might have a big week because I got to buy my stupid Marvel or my DC ones I didn't get this week either.
Oh, true.
About 4 or 5 to that list.
DC versus Vampires 11, Harley Quinn 24, Human Target 9, Superman Space Age 3, which is the final issue of that. I'm really looking forward to that. Sergeant Rock versus Army of the Dead. I didn't pre-order, but I might read that one online because I did have a lot
Is
of
that 3?
3. Yeah.
I think I might have that on pre-order too, so I
Okay.
might be getting that.
I didn't order the physical copy of it, but I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna read it online because I did enjoy the last issue. It was fun, so I'll check that one out. Amazing Spider-Man 14, Creep Show 3, Daredevil 5, Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise #1, Frank Miller's Ronin Book 2 #1, which is I think the only one I'll be pre-ordering of this in physical issue, so that'll be interesting to check out. X-Men 17 and Vanish #3, Chris.
Oh, Vanish #3. I might be getting that because I think I told him to put
Add it.
Vanish on
Okay.
on ongoing. So if I get that, I'd be happy. I don't mind.
So yeah, a bit of a bigger week for me than the last couple weeks. I think I got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 12. Yeah, the
Yeah.
last couple have been like 7, 8 books, or like this is a bigger week next week, 12. So there you go, guys. A big week, lots of stuff to talk about next week, as well as the rest of the comic solicitations that we didn't get to talk about this week, other than the Marvel. So hopefully some more interesting things. But Chris, what was your favorite book of the week this week in this so week, let's say? Let's not call it bad, but
I'll have to go with Deceased. I thought that was my favorite.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Deceased was definitely in the running for me. I Hate Fairyland was in the running for me, but ultimately I got to go with the book I can't actually show you because I don't have the physical copy here with me, and that's Batman One Bad Day, Mr. Freeze. So I'm gonna give it the edge to that book because of the art, maybe the Christmas aspect as well. But I got to give it up to that one, that book, because yeah, the artist is so good on that title. I gotta give the edge to that one for sure on that.
Okay. I don't think I wanted to get the One Bad Day Catwoman and the One Bad Day Bane, but I just kind of put them on the back burner because I didn't want to get these one shots. But hearing you like these ones so much, making me rethink that. Well, they might be too late anyways by now.
Yeah, well, the Catwoman one I did pre-order. I did pre-order that one, but I think that's the last one that I'm pre-ordering. I think I don't think the other ones were interesting enough to me to jump on. I think it was
I think Bane's the last one then, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, hold on. Let me see if there's a checklist here. We got a minute here. Let me just double check. I don't even have the issue. Yeah, hold on. Let me just. I am actually curious now which ones are left. Let's see here. Because yeah, I think the Riddler one was really good. Did you read that? I gave you a copy. I know.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to.
I really liked that one. The Two-Face one was okay. But honestly, it's between the Riddler one and at least the ones that I've read, and this Mr. Freeze ones, that they were really good. The Catwoman one I hope is good. I mostly picked it up for the artist on that one. I didn't read the Penguin one. I didn't hear anything about that one. And then Catwoman's next. Yeah, there's the Bane one, which again, there's a good writer and artist on it, but I'm just not as interested in Bane, I feel like. Then there's a Clayface one, which I've always liked Clayface, but again, I don't know, the art team and writer on it didn't interest me. And then you got this one I'm picking up. Sorry. And then you got Batman One Bad Day Ra's al Ghul is the last one, which is that's a that's a Tom Taylor one. Who's writing it. So I'm gonna check that out because we like Tom Taylor's work. So I'm gonna check out. That's about it though. I think it's the Catwoman. So like half of these I would have checked out by the end of it, when it's all said and done. But I'm happy doing that because I don't want to buy into the whole thing because you know what I mean? Like I'll pick the ones that look interesting to me.
Yeah.
Buying in blindly to everything, right? And I think that's a good suggestion for all you guys out there. When even getting into events, even getting into things like this, like rollouts of all these new titles, just get what looks good to you. You don't have to buy everything, right? Or like I said, read some stuff digitally if you have to, or look for sales in the back issue bins. Like don't just go whole hog on and buying it right out the gate, right? I
mean, you don't have to buy them new. The stories, especially these one shots, like they're not part of continuity. Continuity, so you can buy them a few months later, when someone else bought them and put them back and get them at a cheaper price even.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, Black Friday is about to happen now. There's a lot of comic shops I've already seen advertising that their Black Friday sales and back issues are all like usually like 40% off or something like
that. Or even like once Christmas rolls around, usually a lot of I did last year. I went to a lot of stores and their back issues were 50% off.
That's what I mean. Save it for that. Keep a list of things you might think that look interesting or just kind of and then when that happens, go look for them or or even see what you find the day of, right? Try something new even, right? So yeah, that's because I think, and that's the thing about these shows where we talk about this stuff, and even me and Chris feed off of each other a bit in that sense as well. Like it's fun to come here and talk about these things, but it's always like, it's like the fear of missing out, the FOMO, right? You don't have to always read everything and you always don't have to be there right when it comes out and you don't have to, you know what I mean? So it's too much. It's like, it's all like the thousands of good television shows that are out right now. Everyone's like, oh, have you seen this one? Have you seen that one? Can't watch it all, right? It's just like, there's a lot out there, right? So, I mean, just pick up what looks good to you, right? You don't have to, they don't have to chase everything.
Well, what's that after 1 year, let's say, of all the comics I bought, I don't think any of them have any sort of spec value. And I've been pretty much trying to buy everything. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's any comics in there that are going to be going through the roof. I think the one that's the most valuable comic is probably the Superman Kal-El when he came out. Or not Kal-El, so the John Kent. Yeah. That's the only one I've basically seen online that might have any value over top of the cover price.
Right.
That's including all the variant covers we buy and, some great stories out there, but like, I don't think, you're going to go to find Dark Knights of Steel #1 and have to pay $20 for it or something,
No. And, and that's why at the end of the day, you should be enjoying these things because a lot of them aren't going to be worth much. So you want to kind of appreciate what you're picking up and what you're spending your money on at the end of the day. Yeah. Right? Because, and I knew you were going to get to that point, Chris, because like I said, this is interesting. We're talking about this a year into doing the show and everything like that, because we had talked about this before. I know that's how it is. Like because you just got back into it. So when I got back into it years ago, I was the same way. And I still buy a lot, but like you're testing everything. Oh, that looks interesting.
Yeah, as well. So you want to see what's going on and everything,
But as time goes on, you start to recognize maybe some artists that you like, some writers that you like, some characters that you like, and what sounds good to you because you've been burned already enough times to think like, okay, no, I'm not going to pick this up, right? Like, what I mean? Second guess things. So I guess you're going to start to see that a little bit in terms of what we talk about here on the show, or at least what we pick up physically. There'll still be things we check out online, like Chris mentioned, and that we'll be talking about. There'll still be a show, so don't worry. As long as Chris isn't walking away anytime soon, there'll still be a show. Yeah, exactly.
We're on strike. I want more pay, Nico.
What are you, QP? Calm down over there. Calm down, son. All right. Anyways, that was good. Cheers to a year though of doing the show, Chris. It's been a lot of fun.
Cheers.
Here's to
all
some.
Good.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in as always, and we'll see you guys next week. Later.
All right. Later.